So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another scene for Darkness in Dublin, the Mage venue, wherein we have these motherfuckers. This ambiguous trio who've presumably gotten themselves back to Callie's place. Probably walking Callie in the middle style. Because, oh, look at her though. She even got a flower tucked in her hair. But yeah, presumably they have returned back to the bookshop. Probably even just kind of walk through, head upstairs, hunkered down. Morgan has raided her popcorn again because that is what Morgan does in her home, is eat her fucking popcorn. But presumably at this point, I imagine all three of them are, well, whatever equivalent of shoes off happens in this house. Morgan's shoes off because fuck the police. She didn't want to wear shoes anyways. And I imagine Morgan is tucked on, one side of the couch. Could easily have Collins and Callie arranged however else. But she has her arms free because she needs her hands free for popcorn. Callie can lay on her, but as long as there's arms free for popcorn.
I imagine Callie's sprawled across both of them. She's just lying there, drinking cider through a straw, slurping away.
Collins will be sitting on the other end of the couch, and he will be reading a book on the language of flowers. After that today's outing, and he will be sipping from what appears to be a martini glass, and occasionally snagging popcorn.
From downstairs, one of those old-fashioned bells will ringle. Just like ding ding, sign that someone has entered the bookstore.
Da-na-na.
Callie shoot up rolling, and then
Morgan will just nudge the feet off
abruptly.
her lap.
Stand up abruptly, up, jump, and spit out the straw out of her mouth, and will scurry downstairs, essentially slithering around the corner Ugh.
At which point, just briefly, before the camera snaps to the view down in the bookshop, Morgan will glance over to Collins and just idly comment, well, she seems to be feeling better.
Here's so. And he'll put a little bookmark in where he was reading. Grab his top hat and cane. Yeah, let's go see who's in the store.
Morgan's bringing the popcorn. Fuck politeness. But yeah, they will trail well behind, I imagine, taking it at more of a saunter. Then camera change.
Camera change. Yeah, no. So when Callie comes downstairs, she'll see Eliza holding a little plastic bag, kind of looking around the store.
Yeah, the bare foot of Callie will pump down the stairs, and then she'll stick her head out, and you just see the scarred face, squint, And when she sees who it is, she's like, "Oh, hi."
Hey there.
I didn't expect you so late.
Oh, sorry. Is this a bad time? I can
No,
come back another.
No. It's we've just back from an outing, so. Oh, come in.
Oh, thanks. And she walks in, holds up the bag. I brought chocolate ice cream. I didn't know what else to bring.
Oh, well, come on upstairs. That's where my living room's upstairs, so come on.
Sure.
Oop. The other two get to backpedal from partway down the stairs. Oh, God.
Oh, guess we're moving upstairs.
Called
Sideways stairs.
Colin swivels on the cane yes.
One foot out, turn pivot on the cane, and up we go.
Yep. Morgan just whips around and, trots back up the stairs, two at a time to get out the way. And promptly goes over to reclaim her nice warm spot on the couch. This is her spot. She has her butt print on it. It's hers now.
So
but yeah, she flops on it. Goes back to popcorning.
Callie immediately goes and gets bowls, essentially, and puts them down, like takes out 4, puts them down, and turns. Eliza's here. She bought ice cream.
I see Eliza's here.
Hi.
But hey, thumbs up for ice cream.
It's just gonna look at everybody's feet. Oh, is it shoes off here?
Oh yeah. She's fine.
Okay.
Collins will unceremoniously flop onto the couch, and he doesn't spill his martini.
Fucking devil magic, that.
Callie will walk over and close her bedroom door, unlock it, as you hear suddenly skitch. And then she'll turn back.
God damn it, Jordan.
And then she'll kind of stumble up a bit. Whew. And then she will walk back all flushed. Fenrir likes to get out, so I had to quickly close the door. I just forgot I'd been drinking, and I lost my balance.
That's okay. She'll put her shoes to the side. And then put the chocolate ice cream on the table, or like wherever the lounge section of this all is.
It's like a kitchen living room. It's like 2 things combined. So there's like 2 big long couches. So then Callie plonks herself down. Eliza puts the ice cream there. She just scoops it out into bowls for people. So, you wanted to talk to us?
Yeah, I had a question, and it's a bit of a weird question, especially coming from me, seeing as who I'm affiliated with. But I wanted to ask you, what exactly is truism? And not like the whole this is the act of what we do. This is the tools that we have, but like more in a sense of what does it mean?
Blank.
Collins will tilt his head to the side.
Oh shit, and actually, because fair's fair, and Morgan always takes her eye patch off when they're comfy and at home. Let me quickly swap this out, making the blink all the more dramatic. Do. There's our folder. So hey Max,
Yes.
that's what's under that eye patch.
Oh Jesus.
It's intense.
It is very bright red. It is slitted. It looks like the devil. But yeah, she does not have the eye patch on because they're all hunkered at home, and she doesn't wear it around Callie when they're out of the public eye.
Eliza will notice it and not say anything about it, because while this is weird, it is not the weirdest thing she has ever seen.
Yeah, fair.
Do you mind if I ask why you're so curious?
Not at all. It'll be a bit of a history lesson.
Morgan scrunches just a little further down on the couch, like, yeah, all right, hunkered in. Let's do this.
Collins will kind of like lean forward.
Yeah, Callie leans forward almost like a snake. You can even say the bifurcated tongue like slithering out slightly as like you've just mentioned the magic word. And she just kind of just leans in. Oh, really?
Yeah. So about 1,000 to 1,200 years ago, the Order of Hermes was founded. And it had several houses, quote unquote, founding it. One of these houses was the House of DiD. The DiD were a group of druids who were originally part of the Verbene to join together with these other groups to form the Order of Hermes. Past to about 200 years later, because of the way that the DiD did their things, they were seen as different from the rest of the order at the time. Druidism felt to them as alien, strange, and they saw it as calling upon the wrong gods, whereas if things that weren't even described as gods. An investigation was launched by several houses, boosted by House Tremere. I don't know if you there's a lot of history. There was something called the Masasa War. Eventually, the Tremere turns into vampire. So I question anything with any sense of validity that has House Tremere with it. But yeah. So House Tremere manipulated this investigation to the point where they managed to get House DiD with an infernalism claim on their necks. And the Order of Hermes responded swiftly and brutally with removing House DiD. That should have been the last of it. It wasn't. Fast forward to a couple of months ago, when a group of mages and scientists of the city discovered several strange etheric waves, quintessence, running through the city's airlines. We eventually found a really, really, really old chantry. The last and first chantry of the DiD. Through a series of trials and quests and puzzles, myself and Lottie are now the masters of the DiD. Rather, its new generation of DiD. There's a lot of things in there, including books and libraries and other things. And I know that DiD was very druidic in its way of doing things, and I can read about it. I can see it even. But I won't get any meaning from it. Like it's like when you read a book and you can experience it, but you don't know, how do I put this? You know what something is materialistically, but you don't know what the meaning behind it is, or like what the
You can
reason-
report the facts of a dead religion and not understand the belief behind it.
right. See, I've grown up with a very scientific point of view on everything. I still am. It's just I feel like I owe it to the legacy of the DiD, to myself and everybody that was involved in it, to understand what it is that they practiced and what it is that they do. And so I wanted to ask you guys if you could help me in this.
And Morgan is just kind of all things, like she is just kind of nibbling on this one piece of popcorn thoughtfully. It is the most ridiculous thing she could probably be doing thoughtfully, but nonetheless, that is what she is doing. Though she'll finally kind of pop up her eyebrows and glance over. What are the chances that we could have access to these libraries, to this history?
It's a lot. I've been going through it for several months now, and I'm not even a quarter of the way there. If you understand Irish Gaelic, you're free to take a look.
There's a faint smirk. I do.
Awesome. I managed to puzzle together. I managed to teach myself Irish Gaelic just by looking through these books. God, it was a lot of. It was so hard.
There's a
Impressive.
big smirk.
But yeah, no, if you're more than free to look through it as long as you don't take anything from it.
As long as I have access to it, I have no need to take anything. Never mind that I don't know that I would need to take anything in the first place.
The
But
place has seen a lot of destruction and a lot of raiding. I wouldn't
disrespect them like that. Kind of glances over to Callie, trying to gauge her expression.
Just stares. She's just studying, analyzing.
You're free to make me a perception empathy roll on Eliza if you want to.
Sure, why not?
Ugh. Burps.
What is my perception and my empathies?
3.
That yells, pool of that minis. So,
And I will roll my
I got one.
magnificent dice pool. It is a
Morgan.
fat dice pool, okay.
Morgan doesn't know shit. Collins will see that she's. I wouldn't say that she's uncomfortable. She's just a bit. She's nervous.
Apprehensive?
Yeah. Callie, it's not apprehensive as like she doesn't want to share it. She's just not sure how to tell it. Like it's obviously it's very personal to her. Callie, she seems to be nervous about about the response. She's not used to putting, like, you can see that this is someone who's not used to putting like her own lot into someone else's hand, or her own fate into someone else's hand, which is effectively what she's doing right now. Because if people know a bit about what happened to Danae, that means that she too is under a claim of infernalism.
Callie will take a measured sip of her drink. You've risked a lot coming here.
There's
For
a
yourself.
reason.
For
Go ahead.
yourself.
There's a reason why I don't go around sharing things. The upper brass know it. The Hermetic Order already made contact and demanded that their stuff would be returned. At which I flipped them off. But if we're gonna keep the name and the state that they're in, we're gonna have to, quote unquote, answer for our crimes in the past.
Or learn enough that you could refute the claim from an
We're
educated standpoint.
we're currently actually planning a raid in Romania on an old Tremere chantry in order to find a clue of, well, the Danae's innocence.
If you are that committed, then I don't see the harm.
Carl just nods slowly. The first thing you need to stop thinking of is that what the belief is dead. Druidry is alive like many other things, as the gods they worship are alive. Right in the bowels of the earth.
And Collins will nod and kind of straighten up a little bit. He'll take a sip from his martini and look over at Eliza. You ever meet a god?
I've met the incarnation of discord, of chaos.
That
Chaos,
isn't the question I asked.
chaos is chaos. She just smile to herself.
No, the literal goddess of chaos. I forgot which pantheon she belonged to, but she is a goddess that Lottie follows.
Were you there for the hunt?
Oh, Eris. With the apples.
Yes, the apples.
Eris. So the answer to the question is, you have.
Yes, I I perceive them in a different way, I guess. She kind of starts rubbing the side of her own arm.
Were you there for the night the hunt was run?
The hunt?
No, she wasn't.
I was a bit distracted. Scratches idly at, her cheek.
To
You
read
guys-
a book and try to understand gods when you have no understanding of it. It's like a child trying to chase its own. It's like a child trying to understand what is a complicated math problem. The only way you can truly connect with the world around you, like the DiD did, like we do, is to feel the way they felt out in the wild. The trees, the grass. It's an understanding. Simple, exquisite, simple, and natural philosophy of living.
It is one thing to know that Cernunnos is the god of the hunt. It is another thing to live in such a way that you appreciate what that means, every implication, how important that was, and how important it still is.
I am sending this link of the hangout over to the ST
Oh
because he
boy.
had asked. So, okay. I'm just informing that ST may show up.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily have to be mystical spirituality in your case. It can be just simply a guiding way of life to look at things.
A set of tools, precepts, some helpful guidelines and codes.
I don't think either of you or either of us would expect you to follow our gods, but to understand what they represent as more than words, as more than the god of this or the goddess of that, but the way that they embody all the aspects of what made it so important. Those finite details. It makes it easier to digest.
The way I currently look at I've been taught to classify or perceive them as dimensional entities. They exist in realms and dimensions beyond this one, and they are manifestations, and if not, the embodiments of several forces.
Collins will kind of like purse his lips, shrugs.
She gives a bit of a shrug.
Not entirely wrong.
It's also worth noting that what most people saw as mystical back then was as simple as charting the stars, charting the sun and the moon's path, learning signs of the weather, learning how to read the world. And to them, she kind of raises her hands. It was as good as magic. Even those who were not like us.
I'm aware. The evolution and the theory of science throughout history is a very interesting one. As things become more clear to mankind, it's strange. There used to be a period of time when mysticism was all but dead in the world, and now it's making a comeback.
It was never dead.
You just went deep, deep underground.
True. I'm sorry, I should not have said that.
It's again a shrug. They seem, I mean, at least in Morgan's case, she seems to be taking it on the chin.
Collins is gonna get a... excuse me for a moment. Looks over at Morgan's popcorn bowl. She looks a little low. I'm gonna go make myself a drink and some more popcorn. Anybody want anything?
Smile.
No.
Sorry. I have to do this voice right. Well, I say that if you were fixing a drink, boy, you better fix me a large one.
Nothing but the best. And nothing but the biggest.
Oh. See now,
Oh, Lord.
that is one hell of a way to enter a situation.
And then Collins will very, nonchalantly, God, just kind of, wave his hands. We were talking earlier. This is one of them. I'm gonna go make him his drink now.
Morgan will, very politely scooch her feet down off the couch to make room for the good man.
Oh my, well. For the record, this gentleman will. Is there a doorway in the room that's either halfway open or that is either halfway open or entirely closed?
Yeah, there's one where Fenrir is.
Yep, there's
Well,
a closed
Mighty
door.
Fenrir is about to get the mighty shit scared out of him. I actually picture this as a Brian moment from Family Guy, the moment.
Mm-hmm.
As you will see literally two skeletons step out from either side of the doorframe, playing the trombone in that sweet, sweet Southern style, Louisiana only brand of jazz. As the mighty Fenrir looks up like, what the fuck is this? Before stepping through with what I can only refer to as the swagger of the century. Praise. I wrote this sheet, and his appearance is 7, and his appearance specialty is, well, he's either beautiful or terrible. It depends what you're into. I just love writing that. It was so funny. And the individual pictured will step in with the hell of a swagger. That swagger.
The smell of popcorn just wafts from the kitchen.
You. Boy, where am I?
The house I've been staying at. I'm at the lovely Morgan's and Callie's abode.
Just Callie's place.
I'm at the lovely abode.
So, Miss Callie, my, you have got one distinctive set of features. If it helps, he appears to be saying it entirely approvingly, like, damn girl, you hot,
She'll blush because the bar insomnia is just like, girl, let me get up in them guts. And she's like, So she's like, wait. That's not expressive. Wait.
Oh my gosh.
I would like to make some sweet music. No, 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 I'm on business. I'm on business. Bad. Bad man. You bad man.
He's like smacking his own hand or his own face.
Yes, he is smacking his own hand like bad man. Bad. Bad man.
Oh,
What is happening?
I am paying my son a perfunctory visit because I am far too sober.
and he will walk out of the kitchen. He has some popcorn, and he has 2 pitchers of some sort of brightly colored beverage and 4 glasses.
If it helps, boy, they say the night when I conceived you with your dear mama that she consumed so much that you'd have been born an idiot. I ain't raised no idiot.
Nope. And he just hands over a pitcher. And then hands everybody a glass. And then pours everybody.
Now Morgan has booze and popcorn. And
Yeah.
she's just had ice cream. This is a good evening.
I love how we made. You messaged me the other day. I do love how we've made Morgan food motivated.
She is, and you know what? The more interesting food she has, the better. She even just got to go to a fancy place where she had like fancy finger foods, like little, what were they, lobster puffs? I don't know, but they were delicious.
You are Miss Eliza Hall. That's right, isn't it? I always get it right.
Why does everybody know my name around?
Because
He just kind of like
unfortunately-
motions.
Oh, sorry. Continue, Austin.
Collins just motions with one hand up and down and mouths the word God.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Morgan has picked up a hand and is doing the spirit fingers and mouthing the word magic.
Morgan, you will immediately gain 1 XP because that is amazing.
I accept this cursory XP
Love
for
it.
being an asshole.
Well, you see, Miss Holt, you've done a lot of great things in the high realms, even though, I'm led to understand. You're leaning very close. You're now starting to see the universe from a less limited perspective.
One, two,
Leans
three,
over
four,
to the nice
5,
manifestation.
6,
I think there's some cognitive dissonance taking place. Just give her a second.
11, 12.
It's fine. So I'm noticing something. By the way, Morgan, as you lean over to him, he'll look you straight in the face and he'll say, "So I'm noticing something. I have a drink and I have company, but my lap is rather circuitously empty. You may wish to do something about that, beautiful young miss."
She considers this for a moment, shrugs, and proceeds to climb into a god's lap because why not?
20. I've counted to 20. I'm okay now.
She will assume a lounge with the bowl of popcorn still in her lap. Go back to munching popcorn because why the fuck?
Assuming that you have taken any, your willpower will immediately refill, your quintessence will immediately refill, all health tracks will immediately refill. Yeah, you feel pretty good here. It's like
she's proverbially struck by lightning. Damn.
As a matter of fact, there was an official reason that I'm here, but then again, I do hate so being official. By the way, it's Callie. Is it Callie's grandmother is Hell, or is it her
No.
mother?
Mother.
Can I ask a question, Torna?
Yeah.
Because it seems to me kind of a bit shitty that you're the odd one out.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be willing to dump all of your next month's XP to buy the Nephilim merit if I say you can but dump your XP to get it?
Okay.
What the fuck? I was like, what?
Well, it's because you're in the God Club, and I want you to feel like a full member of the God Club.
I feel
Fucking
like
hell,
what's
bud.
going to happen is we're going to have at least one family get together, and it's going to be really awkward.
I'll dump all my XP. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'll
There we
take
go.
it.
Cool.
I'll do my
He will,
due.
he will simply say, I was talking with your mama about this just the other day. Mind you, then again, then that Anubis mofo decided that he wanted to take all of the brisket. Not just some of the brisket, no, he wanted all of the brisket. And I was like, no, hell no. That's how these meetings go, though. Jackal-headed bastard. And I completely lost my train of thought. Where was I? Anyone? Nope, it's gone. It's gone now.
Moments passed in and out.
You met with my mom and the jackal-headed
Oh,
guy
yeah,
behind you?
yeah. There's some kind of to-do going on at the moment. All the wraiths on this side here in this here little domicile, this Dublin, all shook up about something. Something's a bit... They ain't happy. Oh, I don't know why they ain't happy, because they ain't talking to us. Have you fine fellas noticed this at all?
Looks over at Eliza. It's just like, hey, it's that type of look.
I don't know the realms of the lower spirit are not my expertise at all.
It sounded like you said. It sounded like you said the realms of the lowest spirit.
Did Eliza get a drink too, Austin?
Yes,
Yeah, I think
everybody got a
everyone got a
drink.
drink.
She's going to grab it and down it. She's like, dunk.
And as soon as the glass hits the table after she's done, there will be a bowl thrust out in her direction, accompanied by the simple term, popcorn?
Yes. I swear I'm gonna start up drinking as well as fucking smoking.
Why you say it like it's a bad thing?
I mean, if liquor is the libation and the lubrication of life, son. Without it, all your parts be going clickety-clack, and nobody want that. But no, legit question, sonny boy. Have you noticed that all them deados are very, very disconcerted recently?
I've heard.
There's some. I've seen a few of them, but ain't many walking around right now. Kind of surprising for an old town like this.
Yeah, well, I like to understand that there's some kind of proverbial hoodoo man who's got his thumb very much on those spirits who dare to stray around.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. But that's neither here nor there at the moment. I'm more wondering what's affecting them so badly that they all in a tizzy. I'd be very grateful, sonny boy, if you could find out the answer to that there question.
I will. I'll look into it. I gotta find one first to talk to him. And then
I mean, it's not. You can always just have a little titter over there, like step to see them and step back to not. You know, that's how that works.
Yeah. I do. I normally keep my eyes open at all times. But like I said, they's in hiding. But I guess if I gotta go walk around the streets, then I'll go walk the streets.
Oh my, well, as I said, on a side note, your name was Morgan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, miss, you are a lapful.
I do try.
Well, as I say it. It's all good. It's all good.
Everything does.
So tell me,
we keep it
what is it
happy
that
right
you all
here.
been doing with your time? Hmm?
Well, first was getting a job because you sent me here and you didn't line me up any prospects.
I mean, I knew that you'd land on your feet, boy.
And he just kind of like shoots a side eye. It's very hard to find a well-to-do place that pays enough to live. And most people here are just, they don't drink right. All they want is one of like 4 beers, 2 whiskeys, and don't appreciate finer things. My skills are going underappreciated.
What are you talking to me about your skills?
What the fuck happened?
And
Then I'll tell you what, boy. Then you frog march yourself out there, left, right style, and you go show them how to drink. You go show them how to inebriate themselves.
I've been working on it. Now I gotta get to a nicer job, one that pays more, so I can get that little, I can get a congregation going. So that way you can get your happy juice.
I mean, I do enjoy me some happy juice. Almost as much as I enjoy a good lapful. But that's neither here nor there. Right.
And then apparently some local fucking lunatics have decided they're gonna take over the chorus. The celestial chorus is getting run over by fanatics from the inside, and there's about to be a little tradition war going on, and it's gonna be ugly. So I'm preparing like we do. I remember what happened last time lunatics of the chorus and some of the other orders got together. There was lynching in the streets.
They formed the non-mystical traditions.
No, I'm talking about the lynchings in the streets 5 years ago. The pastor came in, new pastor rolled into town, got all uppity, whipped up the crowd into fervent. Lost my cousin. I'm offended you don't remember.
In my defense, your cousin was a pisshead.
I mean, I'm not going to deny that. But still, I'm offended. You do not remember.
I do my best to remember your disembodied relatives when, they start making a matter on the big grand cosmic stage. I'm Oliver Tizzy.
That sounds like a you problem.
Well, fine then. There was a pop and a smoke, and then all of a sudden, Morgan, you are basically plopped onto the couch or the seat that he was seated in as he disappears from the room in a great kind of you almost can mentally feel a harumph as he leaves.
Yeah, she falls the what, like half a foot onto the cushion.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of poof. Bleh.
Gotta love these family get-togethers. And he sips his drink.
Phenomenal.
You feeling all right? Would you like another drink?
I'm gonna need one. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be back in a minute. I'll go make you a good drink. Make you something proper.
Thank you kindly.
What do you like? What's fruity, savory, spicy? Give me something to work with.
Fruity. Just surprised me.
Alright. I'm actually gonna roll that skill.
Yes, didn't you take mixology as a skill?
I have crafts cocktails at 4.
Yeah. Roll me that sweet dexterity.
Would it go dexterity, or would it be more int for putting things together?
It's dexterity because a lot of cocktails is the correct amount of shaking and adding and making sure that everything is exactly
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, fine. So that would be. I lose a one from the pool. So yeah, come back with a lovely multicolored layered cocktail, worth made with 3 successes of tasty, tasty.
Tasty, tasty. This looks good. What is it?
Little this, little that. Be careful with it though. It's about 75% booze. Take it slow.
Thanks for the heads up.
You're welcome.
Yeah, she will fucking nurse that shit. That was interesting.
We are children of many gods.
True.
You know, it's kind of how we do.
You know what? If we want an obnoxious educational moment, she kind of glances around. Is there a window nearby? A window in her living area?
Let's go with yes.
I mean, I will assume there's at least one window in this upper apartment. So she'll go over and finally pop up, set down the bowl of popcorn, munching on another piece, and we'll saunter over, pull the window up, kind of poke her head outside, and under her breath be like, "All right, where are you, you feathery bastard?" Looking around.
Honestly, I was just about to get lucky with that Corvin over there.
Oh. I'm sure there are other fish in the sea.
Kelmore will hop down onto the windowsill and he'll say, "What can I do for you?"
Well, someone wanted something droning and educational, so I thought of you. And she just very fondly will reach down and start ruffling under his feathers, scritching around his jawline and his neck.
No, scritches, his one weakness.
His one weakness. That's why I do it as soon as I say something that's insulting. Yes.
Well, I mean, I don't drone. I mean,
Of course you don't. Come on, I have popcorn.
I will accept your offering of popcorn. Hop, hop. He will hop up onto your shoulder, like hop, 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 hop.
And she'll close the window, saunter back over to the couch, snag up the popcorn bowl, flump back down, and probably amidst a flutter of feathers, and start, the same thing she was doing before, which is kind of just rhythmically popping popcorn in her mouth. But every other piece of popcorn goes up to her shoulder.
So, what is it you want to actually know? On a side note, it is very nice to see you again, Miss Hoth.
Hey. Yes, it is.
By the way, Max, since you've been slamming it back, would you like to make me a stamina roll, please?
Oh, she's not slamming it back, but yeah, sure.
Difficulty 6.
Have a success.
I mean, you're getting a little bit tipsy, but you're still good.
Yeah, sure.
Getting comfy.
Comfy.
So yeah, she'll kind of be a bit more relaxed when she's sitting on the couch. She has stopped scratching her arm out of nervousness.
That's a good sign. So yeah, Borkin will just kind of point up and be like, "Ask the pretty bird your questions."
I am relatively good at answering them.
He is obnoxiously so.
I was wondering, I was wondering what Druidism is, and not the whole, not the these are the tools we use. This is what we do, but like the meaning behind it. What does it mean?
Oh. That is old magic. So, in many ways, he'll look at Callie and he'll look at Morgan. In many ways, both of you come from a very similar cultural ethic when it comes to this. How to explain? To go back to the oldest versions of Druidism, they believed that essentially, if you boiled it all down and took it all away, that in order for there to be light, there must be darkness. And in order for them to be shadow, there must be light. So essentially, you had to pay for both. And the fundamentals came about through the practice of paying for light so the darkness could be staved away. In many cases, druids, originally, used blood and the powers of sacrifice in order to appease the gods, in order so the sun would rise the next day. You following me?
Mm-hmm. Kind of
This is
how Aztec worship went.
Yes, except unlike the Aztecs who believed that, not necessarily incorrectly, I've met their deities. Quetzalcoatl does not shut his fucking feathered mouth. Anyway. But the thing is that with us, it wasn't necessarily a matter of all blood needed to be paid every day so the sun would come up. No, it was a matter of needing to understand that to lose something or to gain something, one should lose something. So, for example, a noble princess would be strangled and placed in a bog because it was that her blood was valuable, her life was valuable, and she chose to die for her people in service to the gods. So that was where it all began. Then, much like most religion did, it became codified, it became the way. And so it was, you had cults that rose up in order to serve the different gods. For like Danu, like the Dagda, like Luke, like ironically, this is just how it became. And then of course it all got mixed up again when the Vikings entered the mix. Because we took a number of their beliefs and they took a number of our beliefs. We even took one of their.
Kind of just lean back up, smirking. I think that's my area.
Yes, but I was asked to give an overview. For example, we even took one of your gods. Interestingly enough,
No,
well, not took him. We adopted him to become a god. So technically, he's in both pantheons. You call him Njord, we call him Njord, god of the sea.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. But in essence, that's what it is. Does that explain what you were looking for?
Yeah, gives me a lot more information to work with. Yeah, I don't think I'll really get to the essence behind my question until I really get like a snap moment, but it does help. Yeah.
Would you like to see one? Would you like to see an example of what he talked about sacrifice?
Oh God, the carpet.
Would you like to see someone who did sacrifice it in order to attain commune with the gods?
She slithered all up in her face.
Yeah, like past the raven and everything, like.
Hey, girl.
Okay, she's a bit like, because personal space.
No, it's no longer there.
Personal space is an
I
illusion.
was gonna say, have you met Callie? Callie, personal space does not exist.
Oh, goody. If you are, yeah, sure.
Look at me. Look right into my eyes.
Oh Lord, she'll she'll do so.
They used to say I was very beautiful once. Everyone used to stare. Everyone used to always compliment me on everything that made me beautiful. My mother demanded a sacrifice of me in order for the children of her father to awaken properly. The serpent, the wolf, and the dead. I had to infuse them all into one ritual that lasted for hours on end. Look at me. And look at what I've lost in order to gain what I gained.
She'll stare. Oh, she'll not stare. At Callie. Like I said, she's a bit uncomfortable. Face.
But she's trying her very best. And she'll say, "Can I ask if it was worth it?"
That smile is such a snarling grimace. It always looks like that. Yes and no. I love the power and the commune I was given and the responsibility. But I will never, ever be beautiful again. I will never enjoy the way people look at me again. For to be beautiful is something that I will never be. I will never not see my face as this. But it's what the gods demand. That's what sacrifice we need to make.
I see. So this is when you had your when you awakened.
Yes. I wonder, could I show you? Thanks.
It's a very different situation from my own.
It still makes the point that a sacrifice has to have weight, or it's not a sacrifice. It's not necessarily about blood or death. It is about losing something.
Losing something in order to gain something.
Or not.
Is it always an equal exchange?
Depends on the god.
Some gods
Sometimes not.
Some gods are very cruel. Others are very kind.
And some gods have preferences. Some in my pantheon only want hen. Some want speckled hen, some want red hen. Some snakes, some booze. Some tobacco, some people. All depends.
And most cases, by time you have decided that it is worth making the sacrifice, knowing the cost, it must have been worth it, or you wouldn't have made it, would you? You must have been in need enough that you were willing to sacrifice what you have given.
That was not all she took. She would grab Eliza's hand, her left hand, and will reach slowly to touch Callie's wrist, where the vein, where the pulse is. Callie's left hand is ice cold, and there is no pulse at all. In fact, when you look down, there's no veins there at all.
Oh boy. So she'll okay. So
Her hand gets touched and her pulse And then she waits for a moment. And then she has a bit of a look of dread on her face. And she looks at Callie and she asks, Are you okay? Do you just
For what it's worth, just to highlight the cognitive dissonance, if she is taking your hand with her right hand and using it to place it on her left, the right hand is still warm and normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is why she's like, What?
The contrast of the warmth between the two skins as well is kind of horrifying too.
You're putting Eliza in a territory which she's not at all specialized in.
Yup.
I'm a daughter of hell, the goddess of my pantheon's underworld. In order to
Ooh.
be a conduit of her, I had to become her.
Torno, would you say that book is still there?
Yes.
Yeah. Morgan kind of goes, ooh, and like reaches over to the side table where there is a massive, like obnoxiously massive fuck off tome on Norse gods and whatnot. And she pulls it into her lap, setting the giving Kelmore one last piece of popcorn before setting the bowl on the table. So she pulls this massive tome into her lap, and thankfully, with because I'm pretty sure I took the merit. I did. She flicks through right to the appropriate page and flicks the book open, and we'll set it on the table where Eliza can see it. And this is one of those big, heavily illustrated books where you imagine there's a full page illustration for each of the mentioned deities, and there is one for Hell, and she opens it to that picture.
She'll look at the picture, look at Callie. Oh. Oh. Right. Become her. Oh, I see.
I never knew my mother. They said she died.
Then why?
Some gods are different when it comes to how they treat their children. Some, for example, Morgan here will very unlikely ever meet the Morrigan face to face because she doesn't do that. Some of them do. For example, Collins, I'm led to from what just happened. I sense the presence. I assume you actually had a closer relationship with your parent than a lot of people do because he takes an interest.
That'd be fair to say. He's around a whole hell of a lot. Generally to raid a pantry or get some free attention.
Finger guns.
My parents were human.
I mean, Morgan issues a shrug. I couldn't tell you.
I don't know if my father is or not. He just likes his mountains and his forests.
Okay. Okay, she's gonna take a sip of the. She's gonna continue drinking that drink, and I'm gonna make another stamina check because she's drinking it a bit more heavily than she should, honestly.
Difficulty 7.
Sure. Hey, look at that.
That's pretty hot.
Nice.
Morgan
Yes.
recovers her popcorn bowl and is drinking herself to that pleasant kind of buzz state, and just hovering there, very relaxed. Still feeding Kelmore popcorn.
Happy Gilmore.
Okay. This does a lot. Thank you.
With some time to pour over the books, I'm sure I can give you a more situational perspective.
Okay. I have another question. Did you guys grow up in the whole Ascension War thingy?
Blink.
I grew up in a small bayou town outside of New Orleans, Louisiana, USA, where there wasn't much interest in the swamp people.
Grew up in the mountains. My father said it was safe there.
Morgan very helpfully shrugs.
Because she doesn't know.
For what it's worth, kind of comically, she really doesn't seem that concerned. She just shrugs.
I grew up in the city. Actually, I grew up most of the time in Hong Kong. Busy little place. I don't even know where I'm going with this.
You brought up the Ascension War, and if we grew up in it,
Right. I don't.
Should touch Eliza's face with her left hand, you know, the dead side. It's okay to be just human too.
It's kind of just like the coldness is just wakes her up. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
That's why I have Fenrir for. Just stand up very slowly and unlatch the door so the mighty Fenrir can charge
You
around
mean
the
the
place.
mighty Fenrir?
Damn it.
Oh no.
he will get
Morgan
up.
seems to have dropped a piece of popcorn on the floor. Whatever shall she do?
I am not easily bribed, woman, child.
Drops another piece of popcorn.
Collins gets up, goes to the kitchen, comes back with a piece of bacon.
Damn it.
When I say not easily bribed, I of course mean bacon.
And gonna like hand down the bacon to Fenrir. And
The mighty Fenrir accepts your offering, human.
And sometimes you just have to appease a god to appease a god. And sometimes that just takes bacon. Ain't that right?
Do not patronize to me.
Why don't you tell Eliza what it's like, Fenrir? Just like rub the back of his, you know, skidder on the back of his head.
What it's like?
She's trying to understand us. In order to understand her new path.
Put me on the table.
Picks him up very gently, like up a bit. That's it. Plug.
It pads over to you and sits in front of you. Holy crap, Max, it's adorable.
Hold on. Let me link it in here again.
Oh my god, it's such
So
a great
in-
picture.
In her inebriated state, she's just going to just look at the mighty Fenrir and say, "He's so cute."
There's the picture. Oh my god.
Eliza, he, what was it, Callie? He lunges.
Hey, what have I said about lunging? What have I said?
Oh, it's such a moo.
Is Eliza her medic? No lunging.
But you keep saying the C word.
Turns to Eliza. We don't say the cute.
Ah!
We don't.
He's
We
very
don't say-
sensitive. Wags a piece
We don't
of
say the
popcorn.
C word. We don't say C word around the mighty Fenrir belly rub.
Mighty Fenrir.
Yes,
You-
yes.
You
I
could
know
say glorious. He likes that. He really likes when you say glorious.
Okay. He's so glorious.
Yes. Yes, I am. Behold my pomposity. Sorry, all the coaches in this line to this. No, no, no. It should be behold your poofposity. You're so poofy.
He's so goofy.
Can I scratch you?
As long as you do so diligently.
Fucking diligently.
Scratch, 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 scratch.
You can actively see him restrain his leg from doing the little kind of leg twitch thing. Like, no, no, I am the mighty Fenrir. I'm
Her face is just all like, and then it's the Callie's like,
On a side note, it took me like fucking ever, but there he is. Look at
Oh,
him.
look at him!
Fucking adorable.
I just can't with that picture. It's the fucking most adorable thing.
I am the mighty Fenrir. I also like to think that whenever he says hail the mighty Fenrir, he sits up on his back legs and just kind of lifts his paws up to be as big as he can.
Mm-hmm.
scratch, 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 scratch.
Curses.
My winter weakness.
My one weakness. Scratches.
I'll use both hands to scratch.
Oh no! Oh no! 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 He will even at this point he cannot help but lean over to expose the belly and be like, yes, yes.
Collins, I'm just gonna have him spend a willpower, for he is a refined southern gentleman and will not lose himself to this. Although in the back of his head, he is cackling. Although it's hard, he's trying real hard to keep it contained.
Morgan
Scratch, scratch,
Morgan is
scratch.
smothering her snickering with her drink.
I will bring about death. I will be the cause of Ragnarok. I will strike down Odin.
Dumb.
He has healed my soul.
Fenrir is the mighty Dreadwolf. She rubs along his belly, but he's the most gentlest of creatures at the same time.
Thank you, mighty Fenrir.
Mighty Fenrir remains silent and vigilant.
Keeps his eternal eyes open.
As he watches for his chains to be broken.
Actually,
You get
she'll
it.
actually turn and say, "Did they ever tell you the story of Fenrir, Eliza?"
The mighty Fenrir.
About how Odin receives a vision that he battles Fenrir, and how Odin locks him up, and then Fenrir decides to battle Odin.
Similar to your Danae thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Gotta wonder. Did Odin receive that vision from himself, or did someone else send him that vision?
Yeah. Who am I to question the Allfather? She smiled, a bit drunkenly. Like, yeah.
Guess so. guess it's in my nature to question everything.
Hmm. Maybe it's just this once. It's time for you to actually trust something.
That is such a weird feeling. She'll take another sip of the drink.
Why? Why is that?
Oh, sad and tragic backstory.
Fair. But, you trust that your light switch will turn on the lights as long as you pay your power bill, right?
Yeah, or if I make it work myself.
No, take. You
Don't
gotta
ruin
take,
the metaphor. Points.
You gotta take the the magic part of you out of it. Yeah, you're something different than you once were, but you gotta remember, you weren't always you. You were something before that. And before that, as long as you paid your power bill, the lights turned on. Your house was cool, and your water was clean. You gotta trust. And as a child, you knew that, you flipped the switch, light came on. And if it didn't, there was something wrong and something needed to be appeased. In this case, for the sake of metaphor, it was the power company. And they took a sacrifice of money. I mean, money's important to me, money's important to you. I give it to the power company, I sacrifice it to the power company. Power company has it, I don't. As far as I'm concerned, it's burned off into the ether, but my lights turn on.
There are so many. I understand the point that you're trying to make, and that's the important one here.
Existence essentially is about sacrifice, and the same can be said about mysticism. Yeah, my dad likes rum. That's how we get his attention. Rum, cocaine, hookers, and tobacco. But he keeps the sick kids healthy. He keeps the he makes sure the proper people pass when they're supposed to. And people start acting improper. He gets his cousins involved. The less than pleasant members of our family. They deal with them the way they deal with them. Things don't go right. You need a storm. I got
Oh
a
boy.
couple. You need a storm, and I'm not talking like a bad one. I'm not talking a hurricane or typhoon or something massive, but you need the weather to cool off. You need the trees to grow. You need the right weather to kill off a whole shit ton of mosquitoes. There's some Loa that like some eggs, like some chickens, and some wind chimes. Do the right song, do the right dance, kill the right amount of chickens. You get a lovely summer shower. Mosquitoes go away. Temperature drops. Everybody's happy.
She will drink her drink, and I rolled and I botched my stamina check.
Eliza will pass out.
She will pass out?
Funk!
Well, I mean, would you rather her pass out or have alcohol poisoning?
Fair enough.
It can't
Her
just be
last
that
words
you
are-
or something.
Her last words are, "I am untamable," as she collapses.
No, her last words are, I guess, where did I end?
Hmm.
Oh,
I may
Quick,
have
our enemy is defeated. We must draw on their face, says the mighty Fenrir.
Looks over at Fenrir. This is a guest under hospitality who came here seeking knowledge.
Fenrir.
And like just shoots a disappointing look.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Sad Fenrir is sad. He's gonna kind of slink away, his tails between his legs, literally. Like, go.
I could probably get her back awake. And it reaches over to snag her before she like straight falls off the chair, like, "Bleh."
Shit, I better roll stamina her ladyship.
Let's-
Okay. Okay.
We should get her onto a couch. Take off her shoes, because so the rules apply. Put a pillow, and then just make sure she's taken care of.
Put a trash can next to her head.
That was the next thing I was going to say, but yes. Make sure her head faces off the couch.
Yeah.
God damn it, Max.
Max makes everything better. All right. As you guys get Eliza fit for bed, I think this is probably a good place. Thank you,
Oh,
players,
Lord.
for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Thank you, Max, for being Max.